Riot Games is planning to have a live-action cinematic universe just like the MCU. You heard that right. A live-action cinematic universe just like the MCU. Riot has hired several people for roles in live-action film and TV, specifically a global head of live-action film and a global head of live-action TV. And so we can deduce from this that they're at least going to start a small cinematic universe with multiple parts. And especially considering that League has the perfect lore to do a cinematic universe, I think this could end up being really, really big. And to be clear, both of these listings have been filled, which means that Riot is currently in production and moving forward with working on live action stuff. As the gaming landscape continues to collide with entertainment, we're building a new team to bring Riot's IPs to players around the world in new ways, invite new audiences into the fold. This team will aim to show players and the world that entertainment now starts with games. This is really hopeful because this sounds a lot like the language they were using to talk about Arcane when they first launched that product. However, I do have some reservations about this. Riot hasn't done much live action and they haven't proven that they are capable of making good live action films. You know, before Arcane, they had all the animated cinematics, which were incredible. So it made sense that an animated show by Riot would end up being absolutely wonderful. They've showed a bit of live action stuff in the 2021 World Show Open, and they partnered with Secret Cinema to do live actors representing League characters. However, both of these have more of a theater feel, like an opera or a Broadway musical type feel, rather than an actual live action film. So I can see this going one of two ways. Either it ends up being incredible because Riot has a really good track record of forays into new media. And also, people that pick up new mediums and who have the funding and ability to make good stuff, they can usually make excellent stuff because they're not as constrained with the rules and expectations of the art form like most people who've been doing it for years are. However, film is very difficult, especially live action film, and Riot, even with the clout from Arcane, is still very new to this world. Hi, this is the part of the video where I tell you that 99.4% of people who watch my videos are not subscribed. That is an insane number, and I hate to be annoying and I hate to ask, but I would really, really love to see that number bump up. So please consider subscribing if you're enjoying the content. Back to the video. This project could come out very rough around the edges if they try to get it out in a reasonable time. But knowing Riot, I think they'll take as much time as they want in order to make it perfect, just like they spent 6 years making Arcane perfect. So I think it's going to come out really well. However, the only downside to that is this is looking like it might end up being another several year production period. Another really interesting question is, if there's going to be an entire live action universe for the League of Legends lore, then how will that interact with Arcane? Now, I would imagine that Arcane would be its own separate universe, kind of like Into the Spider-Verse is with the MCU and the MCU's version of Spider-Man. However, in the 2021 World Show Open, they did show both Arcane animated Vi alongside real people, and honestly, it looks incredible. It looks surprisingly good. I literally watched this and I had to take a second and be like, wait, is this a real person now? Because the makeup was so on point and it looked so much like the Arcane art style. I still think it's a stretch that these two universes would interact other than references or maybe years down the road in some sort of like MCU into the multiverse type deal. But for now, I'm just incredibly excited to see what Riot has to offer. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.